Hello. Thank you guys for taking the time to look at this, and I hope these help out a lot as this kind of a useful extra tool to have along with the strategy paper that your child already has in their B binder. We're going to take a look today at mainly two strategies: our number line and our adding by place strategy. These are the ones we've been using the most lately, and they're very effective when adding and subtracting numbers. Adding by place is more going to be for adding, hence the name. But they're both very good strategies, and they take the students from going from using tens and ones in second grade, where they're drawing the lines for the tens and the dots for the ones, to really more of an efficient way of problem solving. And on top of it, it kind of builds the groundwork for mental math, because as we use these strategies, we're basically taking the thought process going on in our head and making it visual on paper. So as we use these strategies, students will kind of head towards that mental math direction and be able to really work with some larger numbers in their head. Not only that, it'll help with multiplication as we get to that, because the number line is a very common tool used in multiplication when first learning it. So the first strategy I want to look at, we'll do the number line. And let's say you have the problem 56 plus 32. So if we have this problem, one of the big things the students know to do right away is look at your two numbers. You've got 56 and 32, and 56 is the bigger one. So when we're using a number line to add, it makes sense just to start on the bigger number, because then you only have to add 32 versus starting on 32 and trying to add 56. So put a little star here to show where we're going to start on. Well, I'll put 10 stars, I guess. Let me try this a little differently. Let's do a red dot. So we're gonna start on, or a black dot. We're gonna start on 56, and then what the students really know how to do here is break apart one number into what we call expanded form. Expanded form is essentially just taking your tens and your ones and saying, what are those numbers really by themselves? So 3 tens, what is it really by itself? It's really 30. And what is 2 really by itself? It's 2. So once students have that concept and that understanding, at that point they're able to use the number 30 and the number 2 as their jumps on the number line to get to their final answer. So we'll do a jump of 30 first. And we always have the students label the jumps, because that way it really shows what's going on. And especially in certain types of math problems, the jumps will actually be your answer to the problem. So in this case, we're going to add 30. And when you add 30, students can use the strategy called adding by place, where they add the tens place first, or the ones. You can do either. But let's add the tens place first. So we got 3 tens and 5 tens. That makes 8 tens. And 6 ones and 0 ones makes 6. So you've created the number 86. Knowing that we've jumped 30, which is our 3 tens, we still have our 2 ones left to jump. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Writing my jumps, plus 2. And 86 plus 2, again, we can look at our one spots. We've got 6 ones, we've got 2 ones, that's 8 ones. And I've done nothing to my 8 tens, so I still have those. Altogether, my answer is 88. So that's basically how the number line works. We also use it for subtraction. We haven't used it quite as much, so you might see more errors in subtraction at the moment. But definitely in addition, this is a skill that we've really been going over a lot. Students seem to right now be more comfortable with this next strategy I'm going to show you, called adding by place. But number line is, like I said, is one they're going to want to become very familiar with. And I'm already seeing a lot of students have a lot of success with it. All right, so for our adding by place strategy, let's just keep the same problem here just to make it simple. And for adding by place, the way this works is let's see, hold on 1 second, sorry. I guess we'll just use the thick marker. But the way it works is you look at your problem that you have, and you look at your 10 spot, and then you look at your 1 spots. So, the name's adding by place, and that's really what you're doing. You're adding by place. You're adding the places one at a time. So you've got your tens place, which in this case is 50 plus 30. So the students would write in their first equation 50 plus 30. And then next, you'll do your ones place, which you have a 6 and you have a 2. So we'll just do 6 plus 2. And adding these up, 50 plus 30 equals 80. And students might even use adding by place for that problem, because like the actual problem down here on their first line, because 5 tens plus 3 tens is 8 tens, 0 plus 0 is 0. And then here, 6 plus 2 is 8. Now, this part gets a little, this is, I think, where I see the most common errors. Some students will pick one of these as the answer. I've seen that happen. I've seen a couple other things as well, but the big thing I have students do here is take the 80 that they created by adding the tens and take the 8 they created by adding the ones and put those on the next line as an equation. So 80 plus 8. And altogether they can see that 80 plus 8 equals 88. Again, you could do adding by place here. 8 tens plus, there's no tens here. It's still going to be 8. And 0 plus 8 ones is 8 ones. At that point, students will come back up here and just show that they have completed the problem. As 88. Some students will want to add, instead of writing this last equation here, instead of writing that, they'll just add straight down like this and do 80 plus 8 and then write 88 down here. That's fine. My only worry is organization of hundreds, tens, and ones. If the students don't have all their ones lined up the way I do here, 8 ones and 0 ones, and all their tens lined up, they might be susceptible to creating some errors. And it's, it's a good learning experience. But for the sake of organization, I do like to have the students take 80 and 8 and bring it down to the next line, just so everything's kind of solved out. They see their final answer and everything winds up in the right place where it should be. So those are our two strategies. That's pretty much about it of what we're going over right now. Our other one that we've kind of looked at is where you split apart one of the numbers. And that's it. This is in the B-binder too, in that sheet protector. So some students, if they're ready for mental math, or even on the number line, you guys just saw this on the number line actually, they split apart the second number into like a 30 for the 3 tens and a 2. So in their head, they'll say, okay, I'm at 56. I'm going to add 30. That puts me at 86. That's 5 tens plus 3 tens is 86. Plus 2 more here. 6 plus 2 is 8, so 88. So some students might go that route, and that's fine as well. It's a great strategy. So anything really just to get students moving from tens and ones to adding by place or using a number line or breaking apart one number and adding it to the first number. Any of those strategies are really good. Like I was saying, especially when we get into multiplication, to have those tools is going to be very useful. It'll be more of a struggle if you don't. So please, when students are working on their homework, these are good strategies to push. If you see them doing tens and ones, it's okay for maybe a problem or two, but I always tell the students we really want to start mixing it up just so we feel comfortable with all our strategies, because really it's a great way for students to check over their work too. Maybe they do a number line and they're not sure if they've got their number line correct, so they could do adding by place just to double check their work. So having multiple strategies really makes a big difference, and they'll have more success that way. So thank you guys for watching this. If you have any other questions, you can always email me at samuels_a@milfordschools.org. And I'll continue to do these, and like I said, hopefully that it was going to be a nice extra resource to have. So everyone have a good rest of the evening.